Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to my channel. Sage here, bringing you peace and wisdom. I'm on a hike today in Hawaii, so hope you enjoy the lovely background. I'll probably include some pictures at the end of this video. Yes, baby sleep, so I thought maybe I can finally get some time in to do this much needed video. I think I'm actually looking at the wrong camera. This video is about how to trust yourself and bringing trust to yourself even more. So I had to trust myself to even start a YouTube channel in the first place. You know, I had all these doubts, these what abouts, what ifs, and I had to trust that the message that I was bringing was valuable enough to share. You know, I had to trust that even if it helped one person, that it was worth it, right? So that is why I started my channel. I wanted it to be a safe place for people to come and grow and teach each other and just love, learn, and live, right? So I had to trust that with that mission, it was good, you know, that my mission was good enough to share. So a lot of the time when we find ourselves having trust issues, we can go back to a time where we made a bad decision or someone has degraded us to where we no longer know who we are or how we are operating through our own minds. You know what I mean? We now live by their expectations and their visions of us, their versions of us. So we demean ourselves a little bit, right? And when things come up that we have to make decisions for and decide for ourselves, we don't really trust the decisions we then make, right? Does that make sense? So the first step into believing in yourself and trusting yourself again is to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for whatever bad decision you made in the past that went wrong unexpectedly, or even the decisions that went wrong that you knew were bad decisions. You know, you were like, oh, I know I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't go out with this person. I shouldn't call this person. I shouldn't take that purse. I shouldn't take this job offer. You know those decisions that you shouldn't make, but you make them anyway. You have to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for all the bad things in the past so you can start moving forward. So that means after today, you're not going to say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, I shoulda, whatever. You know, you are going to move forward, right? The second thing you need to do is forgive and respect the fact that other people may not forgive you and they may never trust you again. So if you burned a bridge somewhere, that's okay. You know, maybe that bridge is supposed to be burned, because the only bridge that matters is the bridge between you and source, and you need to make sure that bridge is connected, right? So you want to make sure that you forgive yourself, you forgive other people, because they may not understand the new path you're on. They may not believe the new path you're on, and that is okay. All that matters is that you do your job and forgive so you can move forward, right? Okay, and the second thing you need to do to start trusting and building that trust again is to define your core values. Now, this is not something that's super hard to do, right? Because it's based on your feelings. So what feels good to you, what makes you happy, and what does not feel good to you, what doesn't make you happy, right? Those are how you define your core values. What do you believe in? And you want to make sure you do the things that are aligned to what you believe in and not do the things that don't make you feel good. So even if that means you have to tell somebody no, do it respectfully and tell that person no. Because what happens when you don't and you continue to do things you really don't want to do, you stop trusting yourself to stand up for yourself. Because every single time that you do something, like if someone volunteers you to do something, anything, and you don't tell them, hey, I've already had plans, I really don't want to do that, you are demeaning yourself and you are devaluing yourself, and you're messing up the trust relationship that you have with yourself, because you no longer trust yourself to stand up for yourself. You must do those things. Once you start standing up for yourself a lot more, you're going to start trusting yourself and hearing that voice and trusting that voice. Okay, the third thing you want to do is listen to the nudges. So that little voice I was just talking about, that little voice that says, do this, do that, don't do this, do that, that intuition, you want to start listening to it little by little, and you'll see. You'll hear it here and there, and it's going to get louder, right? You'll start believing in yourself. Now, the thing is, when you first get that first nudge, you have to listen to it the first time, that very first nudge. So if someone invites you somewhere and you get a nudge to say go, go. Say yes. Just say yes. Don't say, oh, but what if this? How am I going to get there? How am I going to get home? And then you're thinking about all these other things. Don't do that. Just go. You know, when someone says, hey, do you want to go out to dinner with us? Say yes. Don't say, oh, well, I don't have the money to pay, or is somebody going to pay for me? Or, you know what I mean? Just go with that nudge and that intuition, right? Do it. If there's something that says, you know, I really love my job, but I think I should apply for that position, or I think I should go to this company, do it. Don't say, well, what about this and what about that? You have to start listening to that intuition, those first nudges, right? Because a lot of the times what happens is we'll get that nudge and then we're like, no, you know, you don't listen to it the first time, and then you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and you've missed the opportunity already. You know, you've already missed the synchronicity that was supposed to happen because you went back and forth too many times, and now something went wrong and you feel like you can't trust yourself. You feel like you don't make any right decisions and everything you do is wrong because you're out of whack. You're not synchronized, you know. So you have to start doing those things to start trusting yourself, so you can start listening to those nudges and trusting them the first time. Okay, the next thing you need to do to start building that trust in yourself is follow through on your promises that you make to yourself and other people. Now, making those promises to yourself is most important because we do things for other people all day long. We always show out and show up for other people, but we don't show out and show up for ourselves, right? We often we will sit here and we'll cancel plans and cancel things that we want to do for ourselves, for self-care and self-love, and things that we want to make us happy, to make somebody else happy, right? So you have to follow through on those promises that you make yourself. I promise myself I'm going to eat healthy this year. Do it. I promise myself that I'm going to call a loved one 4 times a month. Do it. You know what I mean? I promised myself that I'm going to take my child out more often. Do it. Whatever those promises are, go on a vacation this year. Do it. Don't back out of that promise for anybody, because you won't back out of a promise for somebody else. So don't back out on a promise for yourself. You have to keep those promises. And the more you keep those promises, the more you build that trust and that faith in yourself. Okay, the next thing you want to do is give yourself grace. This goes back to forgiving yourself, right? So you want to give yourself grace on all those bad decisions that you made. Give yourself a little bit of time to get used to listening to yourself. Time to start trusting yourself. If you do make a bad decision and, you know, coming up, give yourself grace that you are learning to trust yourself. You have to trust that you are learning to listen to that muscle, that you are strengthening your connection with your spiritual being, your spiritual side, and in the universe. You know, you have to trust that you're strengthening that connection. So you want to give yourself grace when you make a bad decision, because you're gonna make bad decisions, right? So it's okay to make bad decisions. It's okay to make 1,000 bad decisions. It's not okay to make the same bad decision 1,000 times, right? So you want to make sure you give yourself a little grace, learn from your bad mistakes, and make new mistakes, not old ones, right? Okay, if you're still with me so far, there's one last thing that you must do, and we're gonna do it right now for making it through this video. We're gonna celebrate, right? Celebrate. You have to celebrate those little wins that you make. If you keep a promise to yourself, celebrate. If you do something you say you're gonna do, celebrate. Celebrate when you listen to that nudge and it turned out good. You know, celebrate when you listened to that nudge and it made you happy. You told somebody no and it made you happy. Celebrate. you celebrate, the things you celebrate, you do more of, you produce more of, you get more of, right? So you need to celebrate those times when you listen to that nudge, when you listen to yourself, when you trust yourself and it turns out right. You have to celebrate when you have to celebrate yourself when you are getting in tune with yourself, right? When you are in tuned, celebrate. Not like snobby, like I'm always right, you know. No, you just celebrate that you made a good decision and you're really starting to trust yourself more, right? Right. Okay, so those are my tips, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you found value in these tips, please like the video and tell me in the comments below what you found most valuable. And also remember to subscribe. Okay, thank you. Bye, you guys. Till next time. Mahalo.